Careblazer, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 5 signs of possible dementia that aren't really talked about a lot. And the reason I want to do this video, and I'm going to consider this part 1. If you want to see part 2, part 3, part 4, you can let me know once you watch the video if you think it's helpful. But the reason that I feel prompted to do this video is because when most people think about dementia, they think about somebody with memory loss who maybe looks frail, gets lost in conversation, seems confused. They have that picture of somebody. And technically, that's really somebody in the late moderate stages, maybe even severe stages of dementia. For the people who are in the earlier stages, the mild stages, it doesn't always look like that. So I'm going to share 5 surprising possible symptoms of dementia, and you can let me know if you see any of these in your loved one. Now, I have to be very clear. These 5 symptoms aren't a guarantee the person has dementia. They can be symptoms of all kinds of other things, but I'm sharing these things happen frequently in dementia. It doesn't mean if you have this or somebody has this that they have dementia. You'll understand what I mean as I go through. So let's get started. So for the first kind of surprising thing or uncommonly known symptom that often happens in dementia, it is that the person sometimes lacks facial expressions. So when most people would hear something exciting or they're doing something that is pleasant or fun, a lot of us are going to smile and we're going to show excitement. Sometimes for people with dementia, they lose that. It's called lack of affect. Their affect is limited. So this would be like, let's say, for instance, like somebody just won the lottery. I just won the lottery. It's so exciting. If I didn't have affect, it would sound and look like I just won the lottery. Like you don't hear or see the emotion behind the words. And so the reason why this is difficult a lot of times for family members is that, let's say you try to do something nice for your loved one, something pleasant for your loved one. We have the holidays coming up, so you might have some special traditions and gifts or something you would do for your loved one. They might not be able to show it. Now, I did a short video on the 5 surprising things, part 1, and so many people misinterpreted this and they thought I was saying like lack of facial movement. That's part of it, but it's really not about facial movement. Obviously, people with Botox would have lack of facial movement, but this is really about the emotion showing behind their words, the emotion showing on their face. You can see I'm smiling right now. I enjoy recording this video. People with dementia is not that way. So number 1 thing that often happens in dementia is lack of affect. Other people have lack of affect too. For instance, people with schizophrenia have lack of affect. So we would never use just lack of affect to diagnose, but it is commonly happening. Have you noticed that your loved one has this? All right. Surprising symptom number 2 that does not get talked a lot about is how dementia can change walking. So in dementia, it's possible that the person starts walking slower. They might start to walk kind of stooped over and it feels like their legs and their feet have a hard time keeping up. It can seem like they maybe are more careful when they walk and they're not quite sure where to step. In fact, walking changes are such a big deal in dementia that there is a test called the time to get up and go test. And when I worked at a busy geriatric clinic, the occupational therapist on our team would do the time to get up and go test. Basically, they sit the person who's being tested down in a chair. They basically time them as they stand up, walk down, and come back. And their performance on how quickly they're able to walk is associated with their risk for falls. And it's also associated with a higher mortality risk, meaning the slower somebody is at doing that, the higher their risk for death. So walking changes often happen in dementia. Does that mean everybody with walking problems have dementia? No. You could have walking problems from bad knees, weak muscles, poor sensation in the feet. There's all kinds of different reasons people might have difficulty in walking. However, it is very common in dementia as well. Okay, another surprising thing that happens in dementia but does not get talked about a lot is that sometimes the person with dementia looks and acts totally fine, as if nothing is wrong. Sometimes this could be like a really great day, a really great moment, a really great couple of hours. And these moments are really difficult for family members because sometimes they cause the family member to think, oh my gosh, does my loved one have dementia? Maybe the diagnosis is wrong. What's going on? And so I think it's important that we just clear up, hey, sometimes in dementia, it doesn't always look like the person is struggling. Sometimes they do have these moments of clarity. And what I would say, of course, you can always get second opinions and bring this up with our doctor if you're noticing it. But what I would say, if you're having this experience with your loved one, is to enjoy those moments of extra clarity, enjoy those moments, have a conversation, connect with them. Don't spend that time worried and questioning in the moment when you could be really making a connection with your loved one. Have you noticed that this has happened with your loved one where they get these moments of like, they seem totally normal? Another surprising thing that can happen in dementia, but doesn't get talked about a lot, is the potential for visual hallucinations. Visual hallucinations are when somebody sees something that isn't there. So they might see somebody standing in their living room, they might see bugs crawling around, and it's not there, but in their brain, they do actually see it. That's why us saying it's not there usually doesn't work. And if you want to learn more about what's the difference between a hallucination, what are the different types of hallucinations, how does that differ from a delusion or an illusion, you can watch this video. But visual hallucinations, a lot of times we think about it only with Lewy body dementia because it's a common symptom in dementia with Lewy bodies, but it can happen in any type of dementia. Also, it can happen in other conditions. It can happen again in schizophrenia. It can also happen if the person is delirious or somebody has delirium. Like if I was delirious, I could potentially be having a visual hallucination. So again, this doesn't mean somebody has dementia. It just is a common symptom that happens that doesn't get talked about a lot. And the fifth symptom that can be a surprising symptom of dementia is that the person can have totally fine language abilities. And the reason why this is really important to understand is that sometimes the person with suspected dementia or with dementia can be in a doctor's visit in a quick 20-minute appointment, and they look and sound totally fine. So the healthcare provider might not think they need a referral to a specialist, or they might not think anything's going wrong, even though you're telling them,
hey, something's not right with my loved one.
And they're like, oh, they seemed fine during this 20 minutes. And they don't order the additional follow-up necessary. And so it's just important to know, I think the more we talk about these surprising symptoms of dementia, the more understanding everybody has and the less stigma that we're associating dementia with like the clearly confused person. You can have totally fine memory and still have dementia. I guess I should add that as a number 6. But number 5 is you can have totally fine language abilities and also have dementia. And that's because there are 8 different thinking domains to satisfy the thinking criteria of a diagnosis. Only one needs to be significantly impaired to meet a dementia diagnosis criteria. And if you're really confused and you're like, wait, what? You don't have to have memory impairment loss to have dementia? You don't have to have poor language abilities to have dementia? I did a full video breaking down the exact diagnostic criteria to get a dementia diagnosis. You can watch that right here in this video. And I've also linked it below for you to learn more there. But yep, language abilities, they can talk to strangers, they can talk to other family members, they might talk to other family members on the phone who aren't around a lot. And those family members are like,
he seems totally fine. I don't know why you're always complaining about him.
Sometimes think you're exaggerating or being dramatic, or they'll think that you're exaggerating the symptoms or the challenges you're going through because when they talk to them, they sound fine. Has that ever happened to you? It's so frustrating. Now, this video is on 5 surprising symptoms of dementia that are not talked about a lot. None of these mean somebody actually has dementia. As you can see, I mean, somebody can have language difficulty and not have dementia at all. They might have something that's just called aphasia, which again, can be a symptom of dementia, but can be in other conditions as well. We would never diagnose somebody with dementia based on any of these things. Again, there's a full diagnostic workup that has to happen, and the person has to meet certain criteria, and it's quite comprehensive. However, it is my goal that this video helps to gain more awareness on how dementia can look, how people can look different and have dementia. It doesn't even matter what type of dementia, all of these surprising symptoms can happen. And I'm wondering if this is helpful for you, and if you would like more videos on surprising symptoms of dementia that can happen. Again, I did this because I did a video that seem to have gone viral for all of the wrong reasons. And I'll post that in the link below as well. But as you can see from all these comments, they missed the point. None of this means somebody has dementia. It just means that they can commonly happen in dementia or sometimes happen in dementia. I hope this was helpful for you, Careblazer. I have a free email newsletter that goes out every Tuesday. And my goal with this newsletter is to be the most helpful free information on dementia anybody can ever find. I put all great resources in there. I explain confusing concepts. I explain symptoms and how to respond. It's truly my goal that this Tuesday newsletter is the best free dementia resource around, in addition to this YouTube channel. So if you'd like to sign up for that, there's a link in the description below where you are more than welcome to, and you'll start receiving those emails. All right, sending you so much love. Bye.
Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.